Imagine this. Someone has a small argument with their partner. Nothing dramatic, just a misunderstanding about a text message. Within minutes, they open their phone and type something like, "My partner did this, is it a red flag?" And suddenly, thousands of strangers online start analyzing the relationship. Some say, "Leave immediately." Others say, "That's toxic behavior." A few say, "You deserve better." And just like that, a small moment between two people becomes a courtroom of internet opinions. This happens millions of times every day. The strange part is that the internet talks about relationships constantly, yet it may understand them less than we think. In fact, the internet might be one of the worst places to learn how real relationships actually work, where we explore the hidden psychology behind everyday human behavior. The internet loves relationship advice. Scroll through social media and you will see endless content about red flags, green flags, toxic partners, narcissists, attachment styles, and dating strategies. At first glance, this seems helpful. People are sharing experiences, giving advice, and trying to help others avoid painful relationships. But something interesting happens when relationship advice moves online. Complex human experiences get simplified into quick rules. Never tolerate this. If they do this, they don't respect you. A real partner would always do that. These statements sound confident and clear. But real relationships are rarely that simple. Two people are not just characters following a script. They are complex individuals with different histories, personalities, fears, and communication styles. What looks like a red flag in one situation might be a misunderstanding in another. The internet rarely leaves room for that nuance. Another psychological reason the internet struggles with relationship advice is something called context collapse. When someone shares a relationship problem online, we only see a tiny piece of the story, maybe a short post, maybe a few sentences, maybe a 30-second video. But relationships are built from thousands of interactions over months or years. The internet sees one moment and tries to judge the entire relationship based on that moment. Imagine watching a 30-second clip from someone's life and trying to decide whether they should break up with their partner. It's almost impossible to understand the full situation, yet online, that happens constantly. There's also another powerful force shaping relationship advice online: algorithms. Social media platforms reward content that gets strong reactions. Posts that make people angry, shocked, or emotional tend to spread faster. Calm, balanced advice doesn't travel as far. If someone posts a thoughtful explanation saying relationships are complicated, communication matters, and people can grow, it may receive some attention. But if someone posts a dramatic statement like, "If your partner does this one thing, leave immediately," the reaction is much stronger, and stronger reactions mean more views. Over time, this creates an environment where extreme opinions become the most visible voices. The result is a strange illusion. It starts to feel like everyone online has strong, confident answers about relationships, but those answers are often simplified for attention. Another issue is the way the internet encourages comparison. Social media constantly shows highlight reels of other people's relationships. Romantic trips, perfect dates, emotional surprises, beautiful proposals. These moments are real, but they represent only the brightest parts of relationships. The quiet moments rarely appear online. The small misunderstandings, the awkward conversations, the days when two people simply feel tired and distracted. When people compare their everyday relationship to someone else's highlight reel, they may start believing something is missing. This comparison effect can create unrealistic expectations. Another psychological pattern appears in the way the internet labels people. Today, terms like narcissist, gaslighting, toxic, avoidant, and manipulative appear everywhere in relationship discussions. These terms come from real psychological concepts. But online, they are often used casually without full understanding. Someone forgets to reply to a message for a few hours, and suddenly they are labeled emotionally unavailable. Someone disagrees during an argument, and they are called manipulative. Real psychological patterns are much deeper and more complex than quick labels. When these terms are used too easily, they can distort how people interpret normal relationship challenges. Another reason the internet struggles with relationship advice is anonymity. When strangers give advice online, they are not emotionally connected to the people involved. They don't experience the long history between the couple. They don't see the moments of kindness, support, or growth. From the outside, giving extreme advice feels easy. Saying leave them takes only 2 words. But the real-life consequences of that advice belong entirely to the person receiving it. This distance makes online advice feel confident but sometimes careless. There is also something psychologists call negativity bias. Human attention naturally focuses more strongly on negative information than positive information. When someone shares a painful relationship story online, people react intensely. They analyze every detail, looking for signs of harm or manipulation. But when someone shares a healthy relationship dynamic, it rarely creates the same level of engagement. Over time, this imbalance creates another illusion. The internet begins to look like a place filled with terrible relationships. In reality, millions of healthy relationships exist quietly without being discussed online. Another fascinating aspect is how quickly the internet tries to define rules for love. Lists appear everywhere. 10 signs someone truly loves you. 5 signs they secretly don't care. 7 behaviors that mean you should leave. These lists feel helpful because humans like certainty, but love is not a checklist. 2 relationships can look completely different and still be healthy. Some couples communicate constantly. Others need more space. Some people express affection through words. Others express it through actions. Healthy relationships often develop their own unique rhythm. Rigid rules rarely capture that complexity. But perhaps the biggest misunderstanding the internet has about relationships is the belief that perfect compatibility should exist from the beginning. Online advice often focuses heavily on detecting problems early. While recognizing real red flags is important, the internet sometimes forgets something essential. Healthy relationships are not just discovered, they are built. 2 people gradually learn about each other's fears, habits, and communication styles. They make mistakes, adjust, and grow together. Expecting perfection from the beginning can make people abandon relationships that might have become strong over time. None of this means the internet is completely useless for relationship advice. Sometimes people gain valuable insight from shared experiences. Sometimes an outside perspective can help someone recognize unhealthy patterns. But the internet works best as a source of ideas, not final answers. Real relationships happen between 2 people who understand the full story, not thousands of strangers reacting to a short post. Perhaps the healthiest approach is curiosity instead of certainty. Instead of asking the internet to decide whether a relationship is good or bad, people can ask deeper questions. Do we communicate honestly? Do we respect each other's boundaries? Do we support each other during difficult moments? Are we willing to grow together? These questions are far more powerful than quick labels or viral advice. Because at the end of the day, relationships are not social media debates. They are living connections between 2 human minds, connections that change, evolve, and sometimes surprise us. And maybe the most important thing to remember is this: the internet can analyze relationships endlessly, but the real work of love happens offline. In conversations, patience, mistakes, forgiveness, and understanding. Those quiet moments will never go viral, but they are often the moments where real relationships are built. And here on Mind Patrons, we explore these hidden psychological patterns together. The invisible beliefs, expectations, and behaviors that quietly shape the way we connect with each other every day.